Hello there and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that the internet has its fair share of brilliant minds, but what about those not so brilliant minds? Today, we'll be looking at some posts made by the most high IQ people that Twitter has to offer, so buckle up. Please close your windows when cooking meat. What's up, neighbor? One love. As a vegan runner, it's always hard for me this time of the year when the weather starts warming up and folks start opening their windows. Several nights a week, I'm out running around dinner time, and when people have their windows open, I can smell what they're cooking. I've noticed a sharp uptick recently in smells of folks cooking meat, and it can be quite overpowering. Quite honestly, the odor is offensive. I'm hoping our community can have some empathy for its hashtag plant-based neighbors by closing their windows if they are cooking meat and only putting vegetables on their barbecue. I don't want to be a stereotype, so I won't go into detail on why the odor of cooking animals is offensive, but I encourage you to do your research and join the movement of people who are fighting back. This person has a problem with the scent of their neighbors cooking meat during dinner time. It sounds like a real simple problem to avoid if you take runs hours before when you know that they'll be cooking. That way you can keep going on with your business and leave them to theirs. You can tell you have really crappy neighbors when they complain about you on the internet, instead of confronting you in person like an adult. And how the hell do you even get offended by the smell? That makes literally no sense. I don't want to be a stereotype, so I won't go into full detail on why the odor of cooking animals is offensive, but what but? What are you talking about? You don't go to the police station and say, I know that my neighbors are selling meth, but I can't tell you that, or talk to a marriage counselor and say, I want to get a divorce, but I don't want to give any details as to why. You can't just claim that something is offensive but have no reason why it's offensive. You just want to complain about something on the internet because of your own personal issues and join the movement of people who are fighting back for what? What are they fighting against? Meat odors? Alright, on to our next story. Can I sue my beekeeper neighbor? Every day I see my neighbor's bees flying around my garden, stealing the pollen or nectars from my flowers. Then the bees go back to my neighbor and creates honey. My neighbor then harvests the honey and sells it to a pepper place market for profit. I have never received so much as a jar of honey as compensation, and every day my neighbor's bees trespass and steal my flowers. I was stung once when I was a kid, so I know how dangerous bees can be. The way I see it, this is equivalent to a person's dog coming into my yard, steals balls or tools, then gives it back to his owner, who then sells it for a profit. Do I have legal ground to sue? What type of things should I begin documenting in order to prepare for a legal battle? What would be a fair settlement amount if my neighbor doesn't want to take this to court? Thanks for the help. If you have such a problem and want honey so bad, then just ask your neighbor. I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige and be perfectly understanding, though you haven't done anything other than sitting on your ass all day and expecting to make some kind of profit off flowers growing in your yard. They also have the nerve to say the bees are stealing the pollen as if they had any plans or use for it in the first place. You can actually use tools and you also bought them yourself. But what are you going to do with the nectar or pollen that grows inside of the flowers? That comparison is just plain stupid. Also, them getting stung once by a bee as a kid has nothing to do with their complaint, but they feel like it's going to give them some edge in the legal process to sue their neighbor. You shouldn't feel entitled to any sort of compensation from your beekeeper neighbor who raises the bees and does all the hard work just because their bees use your flowers. If you're gonna sue your neighbor because their bees use nectar from your flowers, then you might as well bring them to court for breathing in the oxygen that they produce. So the lesson for today is to not sue people for growing flowers in your yard, or you just might be clowned on the internet. Anyway, that's it, and if you found the video interesting, then consider subscribing, leave a like. It really helps the channel out, and have a great day.